had a good toilet break, and now it's a completely different format. As I said earlier, now it's a fireside chat with two very talented local and young content creators, lifestyle and travel, very much common topics or common themes that we like to explore as we go about our personal content creation journeys, right? So, what better way to learn how to improve our craft by learning from people who are already there, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Emmeline and Rainer. Alright, thank you guys so much. So, this will feel very much like a podcast, I would say, if I dare say so myself. This is some new format that we're trying, so it'll be like a conversation style. We will have a few questions and chit-chat up on stage discussing about content creation and social media, and then we will try to open up as much time for you guys to ask questions, okay? So firstly, not all of you might know who they are, so I will have them introduce themselves, okay? So who's going to start first?
Yeah, start first.
Okay.
Can you hear me right? Okay. Hi guys, my name is Rainer. I am, I guess, a content creator from the intro that Robin did. But also, in terms of pillar or like vertical, whatever you call it, right? To be honest, I'm just trying whatever works, right? And a lot of the times, it's a lot of personal stuff. So my viewers are more interested in my personal things and also like my life in general. And also I try to be funny. Not sure if I am, but I try.
Hi everybody. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. So I am a travel and lifestyle content creator. I've been traveling around the world for the past 9 years with my husband, and somehow this love for travel has become a career, and I've built a little community online, which is you guys.
Alright, very nice introduction. Short and sweet, and I guess the ideal of content creation makes it very dream career these days. But today's theme is going to be slightly more realistic. Let's look, right? Although they've made it to where they are today, they started from somewhere. So let's see some of their old work. Okay, let's title the first part of our first content, but it's more like our past content. Okay, we didn't go that far back. Okay, so let's look at the first piece of content that we have today. Alpha. We had our moments, how we live now. Again and again. A different type of bang to the end. I did not request for her to use this video with the Sony logo at the ending, but let's have Emmeline.
Very calm.
That's right. But okay, Emmeline, why don't you describe to us about this? Why do you choose to share this one as your past work?
So I chose this amongst my other videos because, like I said, I've been traveling for 9 years, and my husband and I started out shooting on an action camera, and we really enjoyed the aspects of making our travels into a short little film for others to appreciate and enjoy. And I chose this Japan video because it's one of the first videos that we worked together with Sony, and it pushed us creatively in a way that how can we shoot Japan in a cinematic way and in a short form content as well for others to appreciate. And I think I really enjoyed this video because it's a trip where my husband and I, we were really,
Slowly, don't rush.
I'm having a brain block, but okay, it's a video that my husband and I really pushed ourselves in a way that how can we shoot this that's different from our previous videos that is not shot on an action camera. And we've been using the A7S2, is one of our very first cameras, so we thought that this would be the perfect camera because Japan has a lot of low light and all that, so we really enjoyed creating this, and that's why I chose this
Okay, thank you very much. No propaganda once again, but to be realistic again, right? How long did it take you to get those shots? Because Shinjuku or whatever, what's that crossing? Shibuya, sorry.
Yeah, Shibuya crossing.
Not necessarily always so nice.
Yeah. So okay, we actually went there 2 days. So the first day we stood there for hours and hours in the cold, trying to get the slow shutter shot, and it was so difficult because my husband is carrying a gimbal, and when people see a gimbal, they naturally want to avoid going in front of the camera. But we actually needed people to cross our camera because we needed the slow shutter effect. So for the first day, 2 hours, none of the shots worked. So we're like, you know what, we gotta go back the second day. So the second day we went back again. We stood there for 3 hours just for that 5-second shot, and I'm so happy that it turned out well. And yeah, so our trick was, then my husband, he went further back so that people cannot see him. So I was just standing and staring at him, and I was like, who's this girl looking at?
Dedication though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Parking 2 days to shoot in Japan when you can do other things.
Yeah, so that's why I said this trick, like I chose this video because this trick really pushed us creatively to really give it our all for the video.
Yeah, there's a degree of sacrifice. The 2-3 hours over 2 days, we will be queuing up for restaurants in Tokyo. They are queuing up just at a traffic light to take one video, right? For only 5 seconds or less. That's insane, right? I cannot do that. I definitely don't have that dedication. Okay, so let's look at Rainer's past content. It's part of a company that he was with before. Let's check it out.
Actually watching this, right, I'm a bit headache because this was the style then. I don't know if you guys will point that. It's the Sam Coder inspired kind of video. So it's like 7 years ago, I would say, and it's like my first. Okay, so backstory. It was my internship days. I just converted to a full timer, right? And I had to like show that I knew my shit. Sorry.
It's funny.
I knew my stuff, right? And the thing is, my supervisor was like, you know how to do hyperlapse? Then I said, yes, but actually I didn't. It's my first lesson of fake it till you make it. And then when I said yes, I was obviously chosen for the trip because it was only like a two people trip, right? That weekend I went to Bugis and I like tried to hyperlapse everything just to practice for that specific trip. And I was using this was the 6500, yeah, A6500. I was not filming in 4K, that's why it's a little bit grainy now after 7 years.
It's okay.
But yeah, it was quite interesting because it was imposter syndrome kind of during the trip, and I had to like really just fake it. Like, all my supervisor was like, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I'm like, yeah. Then at night, back when we filming in London, this is actually London. We were filming, then I'll go back up all the SD cards, right? And I'll go and do research. Okay, how to do this, how to do that. Wow, it was insane. But very fruitful trip, very exciting as well. And I guess, yeah, that's why I'm quite proud of this. And also, this was they uploaded this on YouTube. And then some people said, whoa, the edits sick. Then I was like, okay. The color grading not so nice, so sorry. I didn't know how to color grade until now. I don't know how to color grade properly. But yeah, it was the first time somebody gave me like words of affirmation for things that I did.
Yeah, that's really nice, man. It's a really good job considering you didn't know a lot of things about it. And probably the only place you practice in Singapore is what, Haji Lane. I don't know lah, type hyperlapse that.
No, it's like a random balloon.
A balloon, wow, okay.
There's a big balloon in Bugis Street or something.
Wow. Okay, so whatever it takes, man, I guess opportunity, what do you call it? Luck is where opportunity meets preparation, right? So he needed to fulfill that preparation part to get this kind of luck to get chosen for this trip and all. So yeah, there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes that I would not have known before I met these guys. So thanks for sharing this. It's very nice to see your past work. Later we'll see the more present day one. But for now, let's talk about the fun stuff, right? Like content creator. Like a lot of us have our preconceived notions about what it means to be one. In your opinion, being one yourselves, what is the best thing about being a content creator?
I would say is the freedom to express yourself. So a little bit of context. I was fully in chemical engineering. I was an engineer. But even during school, I found myself trying to do more creative things. So I was the go-to presentation guy because that was my only avenue in terms of making videos or making like graphic design or whatever it is, right? We always got A if they group with me. But I realized, okay, although I'm a good engineer, but I think what sets me apart is actually the creative aspect, and being a content creator really just is a dream come true, because last time I used to, presentation is the only place I can be creative, and then now I'm just doing it full time, and I think 15-year-old me, 14-year-old me when YouTube just started will be very happy lah, I would say.
What about you, Evelyn, yourself? Best thing?
For me, since I'm a travel creator, I think the best thing about my work is that I get to travel around the world and work with a lot of different tourism boards. I would never have imagined that I would have traveled to all these places if it weren't for my job. And I think another best thing is also meeting different people around the world and experiencing their cultures. And also, I would say I love that being a creator, I get full control of the narrative that I put out. So for example, a little bit backstory, I was a fashion design student in LaSalle, and I always loved fashion, and I always thought, how can I infuse both fashion and travel together? So for example, I try to, as I said, like we have full control of the narrative that I want to put out, so I always try to match my outfits to the destination that I go to create a mood or a vibe that I prefer for others to see. So yeah, I enjoy that creative aspect of being a content creator.
Creating a mood board IRL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that involves a lot of research about the place
Yes.
beforehand, right? So you know the colors match, whatever.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Another
It's
crazy thing that
a
I
lot
would
of
do.
research prior to the trip.
Then,
But I enjoyed it. I would rather do that than anything else.
Okay, then do you have any advice for lazy people like me who just wear black, blue, white, grey, right? Black t-shirt, a lot of black t-shirt and jeans here today, so many. What if we are just like that? Like, is there any other thing we can do to spice up our travel shots? A pose?
You can try different angles, like different
Angles,
types of
okay.
angles, yeah. Doesn't necessarily have to be the person, yeah. But for me, I guess I just enjoy like dressing up for the shot as well.
It's also part of your creative outlet, lah, right?
Yeah.
The outfits you pick for yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair, that's very cool. So it's about us discovering our own creative juices and what fulfills that creative aspect when we create.
I think also like finding your own niche. I think I realized the difference between yours is very people focused, right? And also like the colors, very fantastic. But I also realized looking back, I didn't film people. I filmed more buildings, more buildings.
You feel the back of someone.
That one is because he's the talent, so might as well use, right? But I realized also it's like, because I don't want to interact with people, I skewed away from taking frontal shots. So
It's also like storytelling through a photograph or a film. It's like how do you want to convey your message?
Yeah, I think those are very good considerations, which also kind of ties into when you're traveling, taking the streets, you don't want to obstruct people or scare people off, like with a gimbal, a huge rig. Sometimes now there's a lot of compact setups you can use, and that's how you should also possibly think of how you want to frame and compose your story. So I think those are a lot of considerations that goes behind a piece of content that we don't normally see. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, this is the more sunshine part of things, but like the weather, sometimes it rains, sometimes it pours, sometimes it doesn't stop. But the content creation journey is quite a choppy one. There's a lot of emotional challenges along the way. You are under a lot of scrutiny in the comment section. The moment you put something public, anything goes. People can be really savage. They say whatever they want behind a username, right? So I want to hear from you guys. What has been the challenges or pitfalls that you guys face and think that we should be aware of?
So I think for social media, a lot of it relies on algorithm dependency. So we literally have no control of our content once it goes out there. A lot of it relies heavily on the algorithm, and sometimes it can feel like we have no more control because it drastically affects the reach. It can be really good, it could be really bad. Some days it could hit like over 1 million views, some days it could hit less than 20,000 views. So we have just no control over that, and also on top of that there's content saturation. So with so much content at our fingertips, it kind of makes us feel the pressure to always be relevant, the pressure to always come up with innovative ideas, which could also lead to a burnout. Yeah.
That's true. Because I also realized like everybody can be a content creator, right?
True.
As
yes.
long as you have a camera or even sometimes a phone, right?
Yeah.
Something to just take videos. So
Yeah, as long as you have an account, right, you can publish something.
yeah, the competition is steep.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are the competition. Do you guys view, do you guys view fellow creators as competitors?
I will say of course. Not competitors, but inspiration.
Yeah.
And also, I believe in this quote, imitation is the best form of flattery, but it's also the best form of practice. So when I was just starting out, even now, when I see something cool, I will try and replicate that, and then not even in my own way, just to practice the skills of that particular technical skill, and then afterwards, when I mastered the basic thing, then I will put in my own spin. Yeah, because I think should step by step. I also not very fast.
Foundation skills first.
Right.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Then there are some difficulties that you face on your journey.
I think a lot of content creators or freelancers, creatives, right, forget about the admin side of things. So I guess when I say admin stuff is things like when you're working with clients, working with brands, it's things to protect yourself and of course to also get money back. So one story was I worked with a travel, actually it was plane company.
Don't need to say that.
Airline company.
Okay.
Yeah. But during that period of time, COVID happened, right? So it was literally a flight to China. So I went to China, not Wuhan, but it was very close to Wuhan, and it was 2019. It was just the cusp of COVID happening. I came back, then luckily I was like the last batch of China travelers, right? They're coming back that didn't have to do the whole quarantine thing. The thing was, the person from that side, he asked me to sign the contract so that we can process all the payments and everything. I was like, never mind lah. Because I didn't care about the admin stuff and the paperwork. Because headache I need to do maths and all this. And I'm like, I know I'm an engineer, but that was 10 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Then, when COVID happened, that department closed down. So like 30K just went down the drain because I tried to chase for it, right? I was like, hey, so how am I going to get my 30K? He said like, the department closed down. Then there's no paper trail to track your services. Then I'm like, how? Holy cow.
So it's just write off.
How now, brown cow.
Wow.
Literally. Yeah, so learning lesson very expensive, but now I must put the dotted line. The admin stuff.
That's true, that's fair.
We want to be creative, but must take care of ourselves also. But I think you have an advice for someone like me.
Get a manager.
Get a manager.
Right, so one solution is if you have the finances for it, you can pay someone to eventually do the things that you don't like. So outsource the stuff that you hate so that you can focus on the things that you're good at and you love. And then continue building a business, I would say. Right? At least that's what I heard on YouTube. And now I'm hearing from you, YouTube. Yeah, okay. So thank you guys so much. Really, really good stuff. I can't wait for them to ask questions. I don't want to hog the time. Now it's time for the rainbow after the sunshine. So let's look for some of their best content. Like I asked them for what they think is their best, their favorite work, and these are what they shared with me. Let's enjoy. Mystery people in this, whoever submitted this, please explain this video.
So I would say this is my best and favorite piece of content because it's a vision that I envisioned since I was 17 years old. I saw this place on social media when I was 17 and it's in Bolivia. It's the largest salt flats in the world. It's called Sala de Uyuni. So when I was 17, I just knew that I want to go there someday and shoot there someday. And it just felt like it was so out of reach back then because I was fresh out of college, I had no money, and this is all the way in South America, and I'm just like, how do I get there? And somehow, miraculously, this time last year, my husband and I made it there. And it was such a long journey to get there. If you're flying from Singapore, it's over 40 hours. But if we flew from America, so it was about almost 30 hours, which is not so bad. You still save 10 hours. But I mean, 10 hours after 30 hours is really, really tiring. So yeah, so when we got there, it wasn't the best day to shoot on our first day when we got there. The wind condition was really, really bad. So the waters on the salt flats were not still, it was just like rippling non-stop. So there's no way we can create this mirror effect. So we were like, we gotta, okay, so that night while we were waiting for the wind to go away, it didn't. So I caught a cold because I wasn't dressed properly because, outfits for sets the mood, right? So I was not dressed well, so I actually caught a cold. And the next day we were like, we gotta do the constellation shoot. So we reached back to the motel at about like 9 p.m. and I was like freaking freezing
okay,
and like shivering fervently. So we gotta wake up at 2 a.m. because we gotta get in the salt flats by like 4 a.m. So I was having a really high fever that night. I think like really, really bad. So I couldn't sleep. I was just chugging like Tylenol, and then I woke up, and then we were greeted by this in the morning. So I'm like, okay, like forget about the fever, right? Just keep what you are here to do. And it really paid off. I just forgot about my fever. And after shooting this, I felt even more sick that I couldn't do anything for the rest of the trip in Bolivia. So this is literally all I saw in Bolivia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But does that also mean you went there prepared to not get your shot?
Never.
No, but what if it keeps being windy? You can't say like stop, hey, please wait.
Yeah, so there's also another aspect of content creation that people don't really see. Like sometimes it takes days and multiple tries to convey what you want, which is this. Like I had this vision, so we actually this is our very first take, but us being us, we always like, okay, let's do 2 more. And then we always end up loving the first shot. And yeah, so thankfully the weather, came through for us. And yeah, this was my best content. Despite it not being my most viral content, I still love it.
Great. It's beautiful content, by the way. So nice to know the stories behind it.
Thank you.
But a bit sad, so it's a bit bittersweet. Like so much pain behind this beauty.
Okay, at least the KPI hit,
Yeah.
one content piece.
Yeah, after that you safely fall sick, it's okay. Alright, so Raina, it's your turn. This is what you submitted as your best. Okay, I got a bit of tech teachers one. Let us pause and open the video file. I think it's a bit wonky. So let us view by the media player. I think this one is a slightly more emotional tone one. Just now was more travel hike. This one is much more storytelling and emotional, character-based narratives. Need to see the play again first. different from your normal style, right, Rainer? From what we see from your personal accounts. So please tell us why you chose this.
Yes, so quite recently I've converted into a more production role, right? I chose this because last year it was, I started a company, a production house, and it was also my first time scripting and first time directing as well. So it was a very different thing from what I was very used to, which was like social media, YouTube, all this stuff, right? And I think it might not be the best out there, but it was my best during a period of time. So I tried my best. I was freaking out. I was like, how am I going to script this? Yeah.
Would you say it's sort of like a necessary imposter syndrome that you felt? It's kind of like what you did with the hyperlapse, right? You first time hyperlapsing.
I don't know why I put myself in these kind of situations, but if you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, then you will grow.
Sink or swim, right? So you
sink or swim. Yeah, so that's what happened.
What made you? What made you think of this idea?
So this was commissioned by a company like an NGO, but when I was doing the script writing, because it was about cancer, I dug deep, not very deep, because I also had my battle with cancer. So I was like, okay, what happened to me that I could relay in the storytelling as well? So I guess it's very different from my first piece, or at least the piece or the content that I usually do, because it is more narrative, it's more like a short film instead of hee ha ha kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it represents your growth as a creator, so being able to expand to various genres, and honestly, at the end of the day, is to hit the brief, right? Achieve what the client wants from your work. So fair enough, you did it in a very unique way, not something I think many people can come up with. So credits to you, man. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Although it's not your usual hee-hee-ha-ha stuff, it's fine, it's great. Now, I think this is the last slide that we have of content for you guys. Right, so before we leave it to the Q&A, I would like to know what they've received in the past. Guys, what is the best piece of advice you have ever gotten? Anyone can start?
I would say stay consistent on quality, because despite the algorithm being fluctuating non-stop, I would say great content will always build a loyal audience, and always create work that you're proud of, always create work that you can look back on further in life and say, wow, I did that.
Okay, Rainer, yourself?
I've been spouting a lot of quotes, but one of the quotes that I live by is, I heard this from somebody, I forgot who, but if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. It's a very feels very army, camaraderie and stuff like that. But I truly believe in that, because obviously I started a team, and previously when I was just doing it alone, freelance, I was overworked as hell. Money was good, not gonna lie, but to be honest, if you get a lot of freelance gigs, then money's good lah. But I was burning out, and what expense, I thought to myself. And then when I built the team, the money is less, because the money is now divided into multiple people. Yeah. But I'm happier, I'm able to enjoy the process a little bit more. And I think also it's not just about building a team, but being in the song by Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather. Right? Birds of a Feather, you know, right? When people of like-minded individuals come together, they become your unofficial team, unofficial support member of your journey. So if, for example, all of us are all creatives here, we all support each other and stuff like that, right? It unknowingly also pushes you and supports you indirectly.
Yeah, good point. Another version of that quote is you are the average of the 5 people around you that you are associated with the closest. So I guess it naturally rubs off on each other, and content creation, I've heard from other creators before that it is a lonely journey. So all the more these kind of support systems of people who can get behind you on embarking on a creative journey. Because our Asian parents definitely don't support such endeavors. I'm sure you guys probably face some objections in your journey. So very nice sharing. Thank you guys so much. Now let's head on to Q&A, which is now open to you guys, the floor. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will come down with the microphone and get your questions. Like, while you guys are still thinking, okay, raise your hands if you have the questions formed already. I'll come to you. While you guys are still thinking, maybe I can ask if anything. Any questions? No one last chance. Go on. Yes, raise higher. Okay, I'm not very tall. Okay, thank you.
Hello. So I just wanted to ask, because at the beginning you were talking about how you really took
Hi, okay.
yeah, because at the start you were talking about how it took you hours just to get that shot at Shibuya Crossing, because people see the camera and then they get awkward and they avoid. Has there been anything that you've learned from your past years of experience to discreetly shoot, especially when you want to shoot people candidly, to like make sure they are not conscious of the camera and to still get that shot?
So for example, for my work, I'm always the one in front of the camera. So I think you just have to really have the same goal in mind, that is the shot that you have to achieve. So just forget about everything else, like forget about other people looking at you, forget about, So when I first started, because being an introvert, I really don't like being in situations like this. But I honestly have to push myself. So when I first started, I only shoot when it's before the city awakes. So always, that's why there's nobody in my photos, there's nobody at night. But there are certain things that you cannot shoot only in the morning. For example, like if you want Shibuya Crossing, you go at 6 a.m, the vibe is completely different, there's nobody there. So it's things like that you've got to align your end goal with the person you're shooting with and tell them, is this what this is what we have to achieve at the end of the day. And I think that really puts things in perspective when you are out there shooting, because you both have the same end goal in mind. So I think that will help if you are conveying that message to somebody. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that question. Do we have any more questions on content creation or anything in particular, lifestyle and travel, social media? Please raise your hands. I'll come to you with the mic. Don't be afraid. Feel free to ask anything. Okay, yes. Stare at me for a while, whether raised or not raised. Okay.
Okay. How do I start content creation from zero? If a new account, if nothing inside, so how will you go about it?
Anyone? I think both of you also can answer. Yeah, anyone can answer.
Okay, I take the question. How do you start? You just press the record button. To be honest, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Literally, the shots you don't take, you miss it, right? And a lot of the times, it really depends on your niche or what you want to create, right? You don't even need to have the super technical skills to create content, because maybe you are banking on your personality instead. Because I think we were sharing about our different niches, right? Yours is a lot of travel, lifestyle, fashion, and you use your fashion background as well, with color theory and everything. Mine is, I'm just a yapper. So, to be honest, there's so many verticals or pillars, what you call them, and it really just is down to if you press the button. Yeah, I wish I started earlier.
I think I can also add that nobody actually really starts from zero, because you have all your friends who are there to support you. And I think that as long as you enjoy putting out content that you love, I think you naturally will just attract the same people who will enjoy the content. Yeah. For example, same interests. So for example, I built a whole community based on travel. Like if I were to start posting makeup or something, my audience will what is this? Because you have a niche. So I think it's important to always create things that you love rather than what is popular. So in that way, that will really help with the journey. Yeah.
So-called you must have your own topic to post, right? In other words, right?
Yes, correct. So it's what is your interest, and how do you want to convey your interest for other people to enjoy? So for example, Raina's like entertainment, short form comedy. For example, mine is travel, lifestyle, home, yeah. So you find what you're interested in and you can press the record button.
Yeah. I think it's like what was mentioned, what you like. Like for example, you like travel, right? I like making people laugh. So actually, what do you like? Maybe I'm asking you, what do you like? What do you like to do? Like even like hobbies, because the stuff about makeup as well is people who actually love makeup that create content about makeup, right? Or food.
Actually, still exploring, not going full on to one topic yet.
Yeah. I think it's also like casting your net out wide to see, because I mean that's what we go experience things for, right? To see if we like it or not, right? Then if you see this is something that you like, then you do it. Then during the experience as well, you know what you don't like as well. Then you try not to do it. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much for the question and follow-ups. I think we got time for 2 more questions. Can we have any more? Oh, right here.
My name is Arunava and I'm a portrait photographer. But I have a question. Like I like to do like content travel videos. But what's your go-to equipment for like creating content? Because you have to like be fast to take some shot.
So before a trip, I always go with an idea in mind. So I know the shots that I want to create, the photos that I want to take. So A7S3, I will shoot with that. And yeah, I think once you know your gear, everything else comes hand in hand. So you know that at this place, so a lot of research is also needed. So rather than being fast, you know that at this specific timing you have this list of shots that you want to create. But also always enjoy the process, don't make everything so technical. You know, like when there are other spots that you see that's not in your research, you can always just experiment and shoot there as well. Yeah, so I think if you want to venture into travel videography or photography, it can be just enjoying the process and yeah.
I think one tip that I learned doing travel stuff last time was you go to Instagram, you click the location, right? Once you get that location, you can see a plethora of content creators or like even just normal people doing content, right? And you'll find something that inspires you, and maybe, like I said, maybe you can replicate that, or maybe you can do something different. That's one of the tips that I would say. Like if you like brain block and don't know what to do with this specific area, yeah.
All right, thank you for that. One last question, anybody? All the way at the back also, no problem. I'll go to you. Okay, one last question. If not, like auction, I'm calling it twice. Okay, no more, we'll wrap, no regrets. Okay, one question.
Okay, this is for Emily. So, understand you travel quite a bit,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of planning coming up, and you might do some reshooting at some location. So, will it kind of, like you plan for 8-day itinerary, then you have to compress it further because you have more shoot to be done at one area, like not just 1 or 2 days. And especially for the Salt Lake you mentioned, right? How was the shot done? Because I see you and your husband was in the shot.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
a friend was with us and he flew the drone. Yeah. So I conveyed it. I need you to fly a drone from here to here. And he obviously executed it very well. Yeah. But to touch on your point, yes, so that if there are reshoots, there are definitely things that we have to sacrifice. For example, like wake up even earlier for us to fulfill something, and and just sacrificing the sleep. Yeah.
Alright, thank you very much, and that is it for this session. Thank you everybody. Please give a warm round of applause one more time for Emily and Ryan.